What's up YouTube? It's Chris and I'm back with another video. I'm going to be answering another question from the Facebook group. Okay, so this question was from Jason. He asks, thinking about buying a franchise. Where can I learn about the franchise business? How do I learn how to analyze franchise investment opportunities? I didn't even read the whole. I laugh because I didn't even read his whole question before I responded. I just simply interjected and stopped at where can I learn about the franchise business? I said you can learn it's a lot of work. The thing about franchises is this: you're paying a fee to a company that has established a set of rules of how their business should run. The problem with that is they ain't always right. Okay, I mean, how many of us have been to insert popular name restaurant and you could be like, look, I mean, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? Why don't you have your, I'm trying not to give anything away, but why does your frosting machine work? Why is your ice cream machine always broke? You know, little things like that. Fix that. Anyway, so you basically sign a contract that states how you have to run the business, and there's not a lot of deviation depending on the franchise. So you can't change things up. If you want to buy a Denny's, you got to run it Denny's way. You know, only thing you can do is just offer good customer service, and that's pretty much it. Other than that, Denny's is your dictator, and you paid them to be your dictator. Not only that, but they often require that you personally work there. So what you're doing is you buying a job and you're giving your employer part of your check. That doesn't make any sense. Now, in some cases it might. Those that are lenient, you know, but I just never seen one. I don't look into them. I don't recommend them. What I recommend, let me just read what I said to them. I said, you're basically buying a job and splitting profits with the franchisor. The benefit is that they have tools in place, but sometimes these tools are antiquated, and you can't, I said, and you can't deviate from it because you signed a contract. Consider buying a business that's not a franchise, and there are a ton of them. Everything is still in place, and you have free reign to scale the business up to earn more income without all the franchise fees. Now, here's the thing. People like franchise because it's, you know, all of the trial and error is done. At least that's the way they pitch it. It's not done. But most of the trial and error is done, at least enough to make the business profitable. So people find that attractive. They don't have to do anything or really learn that much other than the credo of that franchise. But you could do the same thing with buying a mom and pop shop. Let's say you were interested in, I'm just going to use a real life example. So me and a friend of mine were looking at buying a body repair shop in LA. We are doing car YouTube channels, and it just made sense to own a body shop and a repair shop because, I mean, we could do stuff, but neither one of us can do body work, okay? So if we're buying stuff from Copart and things like that, we're going to need body work more than likely. So it just made sense to have that there. We could have our employees do the work while we just film, right? So that's what we were going to do. And it makes more sense to buy a mom and pop shop because we could do things like let's say we got a car that still had a clear title and it just had, you know, some light body damage. We fixed it. We could rent that out on Turo as well as have fun with it and make videos, right? But you can't do that with a Mako. All right, if you bought a Mako, which is a franchise, you can't do that. But if we just bought a body shop, you know, that just belongs to a person and they're retiring, we can do that. And that's what you want to look for. You want to look for people that are retiring, or really young people that started something and they're just looking to move on to the next challenge. If it's someone middle aged, you gotta really ask questions like, yo, why are you selling this? You know, of course, do your due diligence, but that's what I would recommend. There's more money, there's more freedom, and you know, you can scale the business up. Another thing when it comes to buying businesses is you want to make sure that it is scalable. So don't buy something that can't that doesn't have an opportunity where you can increase the income. let's say there was a body shop that I was interested in. Let's say it netted, $200,000 a year. Okay, that's good. And they're asking $300,000 for it. Now, this is not a mortgaged residential personal property. Okay, you have to pay this loan off generally within 5 to 15 years. So those payments are going to be expensive. You also need to put more down. Okay, so you got to factor in what your monthly payments are going to be. And if the thing only nets $200,000 a year, that's $16,000 a month. And if you bought it for $300,000 and you got to pay it off, and let's just even stretch it and say 15 years, you could see how that really puts a squeeze on your income. And if you go in it with a partner, you got to split the 200,000 up, that 16,000 up even more. So, I crunched the numbers, and this is LA. So I crunched the numbers and I looked and I said, okay, we did a loan for $300,000, we put X amount down. We're looking at maybe $4,000 a month in just paying, the loan. Okay, and sometimes it doesn't include all the equipment, but let's say it did include all the equipment, but they didn't. Of course, with $300,000, you're not getting the land. And let's say, all right, the lease renews, because here's the other thing, which they don't tell you. The lease is going to likely renew because there's a new tenant there, and they're going to raise that rent. So you don't really know what the rent is going to be. You could talk to the landlord, and get it in writing, because they could just jack it up on you, and now that cuts into your profits even more. So, and that's in LA. After all said and done, we were going to be looking at maybe $8,000 or like $6,000 to $8,000 left, and now we got to split that, and we now can't live in LA. Like, we need other jobs. So, you need to factor all those things out when you're looking at buying a business. And that's pretty much it. So this is a lot shorter video. I'm trying to cut these down, but sometimes the tea is just a little too sweet, and we kind of got to get into some of the comments. People, I guess, felt that this was a reasonable question, and then it only had 11 comments. Most people don't know what they're talking about when it comes to franchises anyway. So again, if you like this video, go ahead and punch that like button and consider subscribing. I would appreciate it if you did. It will help my channel. It will help me out. But if not, that's cool too. As long as I helped you out, pay it forward somewhere else. I'll catch you guys next video.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. I'm a king of